Imagine this. You're sitting across from the person you thought you'd spend forever with. You've just poured your heart out, dropped to one knee, and opened a little velvet box. And he laughs. Not a nervous chuckle. A full, cold, arrogant laugh. Then he says the words that still burn in my memory. That ring? It's beneath me. Honestly, it's for someone at your level, Maya. Not mine. I didn't scream. I didn't cry in front of him. I just looked him dead in the eye, closed the box slowly, and said one calm word. Okay. He smirked like he'd won. Like he'd just dodged a bullet. He walked out of that restaurant thinking he was too good for me and too good for the ring I'd spent years saving for. 3 days later, that same man was blowing up my phone at 2 a.m. text after text. Voicemail after voicemail. Begging. Pleading. Offering anything to get that trash ring back. What changed in 72 hours? Why did the guy who called it worthless suddenly act like he'd lost a fortune? The answer will make your jaw drop. Because that ring wasn't what he thought it was, and neither was I. But the real twist? It all started unraveling the second he laughed in my face. I had been planning that night for months. Every detail. The restaurant with the soft candlelight, the table by the window overlooking the city, the playlist I knew he loved. I wanted it to be perfect because I thought we were. The ring? I didn't just buy it. I hunted for it. Vintage sapphire, deep ocean blue, set in simple platinum. It had belonged to someone else's grandmother once, passed down through decades of quiet love stories. I paid every cent I could scrape together after bills, after rent, after late-night shifts. To me, it wasn't just jewelry. It was a promise. So there we were. Dinner finished. Hearts racing. I slid the box across the table, opened it, and got down on one knee. Yes, me. I wanted to surprise him. I wanted to show him I wasn't afraid to lead. He stared at the ring for a long second. Then he laughed. Not the kind of laugh that softens into tears of joy. The kind that slices. That ring, he said, voice dripping with pity. It's beneath me, Maya. Honestly, it's for someone at your level. Not mine. I deserve better than this little thing. He stood up, pushed his chair back, walked out, left me kneeling there while the waiter pretended not to notice. The humiliation burned. But underneath the hurt, something colder woke up. I closed the box, stood, walked out with my head high, and I said one word to myself as I stepped into the night air. Okay. What he didn't know, what he would never have guessed in a million years, was that the ring he just called trash had a secret worth more than his entire ego. But I wasn't ready to tell him yet. He thought he'd won. He really did. The next morning I woke up with puffy eyes and a fire in my chest. I didn't text him. I didn't call. I didn't beg. Instead, I did something he never expected. I disappeared from his life, and reappeared better. New job promotion landed the week after. Double the responsibility, double the paycheck. I started hitting the gym at 5 a.m., the kind of workouts that leave you sore and proud. My hair? Fresh cut. My style? Elevated. Social media? Quietly thriving. Friends flooded my comments. Lila, my ride or die, summed it up best. Girl, he fumbled the bag of the century. Let him watch you unpack a whole new life. And watch he did. 3 weeks later, his stories popped up everywhere. Him and Sophia. New girl. Flashy dinners. Designer bags. Captions dripping with smugness. Finally with someone who matches my level. Upgrading in every way. He even posted a photo of them at a rooftop bar, her hand on his chest, both wearing matching gold chains that screamed, "Look at me." But here's the contradiction you need to hear. Behind the filters, cracks were already showing. A friend of a friend let slip he'd been asking to borrow money for a surprise. His new ride? Leased on max credit. The luxury watch? A high-end replica he swore was real. He was performing wealth. I was quietly building it. And that ring he laughed at? I still had it tucked away, waiting. Then my phone buzzed at 2:17 a.m. His name on the screen. Panic mode activated. 3 days. 72 hours. That's all it took for the man who laughed at my ring to start unraveling. My phone lit up like a slot machine at 2:17 a.m. First text, Maya, we need to talk. Then, I messed up. Please pick up. Then the voicemails. His voice cracking. I didn't mean what I said. I was stupid. That ring. I want it back. I need it. I let them pile up. Watched the notifications stack while I sipped tea in the dark. Have you ever had someone who treated you like dirt suddenly realize you were holding gold? It's quiet power. The best kind. See, after he walked out that night, I didn't just cry and move on. I took the ring to a proper jeweler. The one with the loop and the serious face. Turns out the sapphire wasn't just pretty. It was rare. 2.8 carats, Burmese origin, untouched for 60 years. The simple platinum setting? A deliberate choice by the original owner to keep the focus on the stone. Appraisal came in at $18,000. Cash. Not the little thing he thought it was. He didn't know because he never asked. Never cared to look closer. He judged the box, not the treasure inside. By day, for he was at my door. Knocking. Pleading. I'll buy it from you. Name your price. I made a mistake, Maya. I see it now. I opened the door just enough to see his face, sweaty, desperate, eyes wide like he'd finally woken up. He thought he could charm his way back to what he threw away. I let him talk. Listened to every apology. Every promise. Then I smiled. Small. Calm. And I told him the truth he wasn't ready for. He stood there on my doorstep like a man who just realized the lottery ticket he threw away was the winner. Sweat on his forehead. Eyes red. Hands shaking as he held out his phone like proof of how much he cared now. Maya, please. I'll pay whatever it takes. Double. Triple. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I let him ramble. Every apology sounded the same after a while. I was an idiot. I was going through something. I see your worth now. Funny how worth only becomes visible when money's attached. I stepped aside. Let him in. Not because I forgave him. Because I wanted him to hear this part in person. I pulled out the appraisal paper. Slid it across the coffee table. $18,000. His jaw dropped. Color drained from his face. Then came the excuses. If I'd known. If Demi. I cut him off. Voice still steady. I didn't buy it to impress you, Ethan. I bought it because it meant something. And you? You saw the box, and you decided the whole story. He reached for my hand. I pulled back. Then I dropped the final piece. I don't have it anymore. His whole body froze. I sold it 2 days ago. Full price. Cash in hand. His mouth opened. Nothing came out. And in that silence, I said the one word that ended everything between us. Goodbye. He stood frozen in my living room, the appraisal paper still trembling in his hand, mouth open like the words had been vacuumed out of him. Goodbye. One word. And he went silent. Not because I screamed. Not because I threw things. Because in that single syllable, everything he thought he controlled, me, the ring, the story, collapsed. He left without another sound. Door clicked shut behind him. I never heard from him again. Not a text. Not a call. Not even a pathetic, I'm sorry, at 3 a.m. Meanwhile, the 18 grand from that trash ring? It became the down payment on my new apartment. A solo trip to Santorini where the sunsets actually felt like freedom. A savings account that grew while his ego shrank. Here's the part that still makes me smile. He spent years chasing better. Bigger. Flashier. Louder. And in the end, the best thing that ever happened to him walked away because he couldn't recognize real value when it was kneeling in front of him. Never let anyone tell you your worth, especially when they're too blind to see it themselves. If you've ever been underestimated, drop a ring emoji in the comments. Hit like if karma hit different for you today. Subscribe for more stories where the quiet ones win. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't loud. It's just walking away with everything they never deserved.